Hey guys, it's One Hernandez here. And I tell you one thing, don't forget to subscribe to the Canaries guys. Good lads guys, what a podcast. Watch them.
And I don't know where she goes at night, but I've gotta find out. Hey, you, not a clue. Wake up, I'm chasing you. Stop now, my head is don't know how to get me out. Hey, you, not a clue. Wake up, I'm chasing you. Stop now, my head is don't know how to get me out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Canary Guys podcast. I am Robbie, aka Jeff98, and I'm hosting today. And as always, I am joined by Chris. How are you, mate? After this,
I mean, I've had better weeks.
There's
There's been better weeks in Norwich history, let's be honest.
it's been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The elephant in the room. You will see we are one Canary Guy down. Ashton is at work today, but rest assured, we talk to him later on in the pod. But priorities aren't there, so
No,
Ashton.
he's not committed enough. Needs to dedicate himself to the game a little bit more.
Sorry, I'm disappointed because I wanted to. If any of your previous viewers would have heard or seen me and Jez, we'll comment that in a second, I guess. But like he broadcasts from a Norwich City themed sex dungeon, surely.
Yeah, it's a good set. But yeah,
It's
I
that-
would agree. It does look a little bit that way.
And I wanted to bring that up with him, but he's not here, so I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. But as you can see, we've in order to replace him, we've had to draft in two men.
Super.
He's a hard man to replace. So
Yeah, I see.
But no, it's great to have you guys on again, obviously. Runners up of the big fat quiz of the year. We had to get you on again, just sorry, because that was a bit of a mess, really, wasn't it?
No, thanks for having us.
There was some controversial scoring, some questions that maybe weren't right. It was all a bit up in the air.
Editing was a mess.
I think it went really well, gents. I think the hosting of it was superb, so well done.
Oh,
Fantastic. We love that.
we love that. And then, so we'll quickly go straight into it, and we will start. Guests of honour, so we'll start with you guys. I just want to ask a bit about your own podcast, the Beyond the Barclay, and just how did it come about? How did it get started, and what was your intentions with it?
Morgan?
I don't know why you're asking, because this was not my idea. This was This was one of your harebrained schemes, your vanity project.
Go on. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, it was, yeah. I'll go then. So, yeah, it started last year. It was probably 2 years in the making. I've thought about doing it for quite a while. I've seen a bit of a gap where obviously you've got the likes of Talk Norwich City that do an excellent job. Likewise yourselves, Along Come Norwich, they do a great job. But what they do is they kind of meet amongst themselves, talk to each other. They don't get people from the outside that they interview, i.e. fans. So I thought, let's do a podcast where we bring on some fans, ask them 10 questions, find out about them, find out about their support in Norwich City, and naturally with that, it then creates a bit of conversation, past, present, future, about the club. So that was really the premise, and sort of over time we've added to it. So obviously Morgan, who's my illustrious co-host, that's what he gets introduced as every episode. He joins January. We started the Beyond the South Stand series, so that's where we talk to away fans that are coming to Carrow Road. Same format, so it's we get to know a little bit about their club. We then got Killian involved, so Killian O'Grady, you both probably know. He now does an away fan podcast where obviously Norwich fans are the away fans this time, so he goes and speaks to the teams that we're visiting. We had AD Coop very kindly get involved as well. He sort of drops in on an ad hoc basis, but it's brilliant having an ex-professional Norwich player to give his opinion. And finally, Izzy, who got involved at the start of this season, she started hosting a women's podcast for the Norwich City women's team. So she started off interviewing Actonian's fan at the start of the season. They've had a really good start to the season as well. So yeah, she's a real star, and we've also got some people behind the scenes, Ben Glacier, Ollie Sadler, and Ruben Clark, who all look after our videography and a little bit of social media. So we've sort of grown quite a lot over the last year, but we love it. I enjoy. The reason I do it is it's very, I guess, selfish is probably the wrong word to use, but because I live out of county, it gives me the opportunity to speak to Norwich fans that I wouldn't probably necessarily be able to do, other than obviously when I go and watch the games. So yeah, long answer there, but that's what Beyond the Barclays is all about.
A good
Yeah,
summary
I
though.
think.
It gives us an idea.
Go on. Sorry, I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about listening to your podcast, guys, Canary guys, not Jez, is
Give him some
like
credit.
I think that, like, much like yourselves in a certain way, you've got a bit of, I suppose, a bit of spit and sawdust cheekiness, and it's down to earth. It's like a pub chat with your friends, rather than you come on and go, right, I'm going to talk like this in this particular influencer kind of way. It's like staccato, and I think for me it's like it takes away from what you're trying to do when you try to be media, if you will. And I guess in a way, like, we've I think we've done pretty well. Jez has done an amazing job since he's started this whole crazy thing. And it's testament to having just a bit of breath of fresh air from people like yourselves and like Jez, who are doing it for the right reasons, and just trying to have
Yeah.
a little, like, it just be a down to earth kind of chat with people, rather than it be like, this is my career and I want to be in media. And I think that's something that I've definitely noticed since being in this realm for like 7 months, is that there's a lot of, like, I don't know, I think it's not always done for the right reasons, and I'm not going to go into depth of that, but I think what you're doing is really nice and it's really cool. What Jez came up with, we speak to fans about their lives, about their fan journeys. When you guys will come on, we'll get you, or like we'll ask you questions, because that's the whole purpose of it, right? It's talking about fandom and the stupid shit that we get up to on, like, or like have been through, or whatever. It's not about, I don't know, it's not about self promotion.
Yeah.
I think the other thing as well. Sorry, Chris. Feels like we're
Yeah,
sort
you're
of
good.
taking over a little bit, but
No, it's
the other
fine.
thing
We're
we're
enjoying
so
it.
keen. Oh, great! And the other thing we're really keen on doing is promoting what the community projects do at Norwich. So we had a chat with Ian Thornton a few weeks ago. Who's been at the CSF for 30 years, 35 years in fact, and seeing what they do down at the Nest and sort of various other community projects. So we're very sort of community driven as well. We also, Morgan did an excellent job with the chaps at the On the Stall in the forum.
Yeah.
We did a video with those guys, just more of like this is what they do, this is why they do it, and it's actually a really important message.
Yeah.
So that we're sort of a little bit more, I guess, not saying some podcasts, not just Norwich City related, by the way, aren't sort of community driven, but that's what we're trying to achieve, just giving back a little bit and giving people a platform to talk about those really important community projects that Norwich do.
Yeah, because I know that you guys did that with your. I saw it on your last podcast of the Portsmouth away, where you talked about your involvement in the fan
Yeah.
Fan
fan
Social
group.
Club with Diane. We do quite a lot with them. We've been to the last 2 or 3 events now, haven't we, Robbie?
Yeah.
Yeah, we try and get out there and get involved in those events. They are really good. She puts on an excellent job, so we like to get involved with as much kind of fan stuff as we possibly can if we do. I think you made a really good point about kind of it being a bit spit and sawdust and just like pub chat with your mates. Like, we are always striving to make it more professional, but at the same time we don't want to lose those roots either.
No.
That's the thing. You're quite right. So a lot of podcasts are quite polished, like media production, as you say. We still want to be that grassroots kind of every Norwich fan relatable podcast, but make it pro and a bit slick if we can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, makes sense.
I think we're getting there. It's happening. We're on season 2 now, so
Mm.
we've changed up the style a little bit. We're on face cam now, which we weren't doing last year, so that
Yeah.
was a big improvement. So yeah, it's just good to see lots of new people. Like I say, we've got quite a few good Norwich podcasts that have popped up in the last couple of years that are all kind of genuine fans giving really good opinions. So
Yeah,
it's nice to see that, and it's nice to see the community kind of growing and getting bigger from there.
and supporting each other, I think, is really important
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
We're all fighting the same battle. That's not so bad to say it like that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. 100%. And yeah, like our podcast, obviously, it's Norwich related. That's the name of the game, but we do tangent off quite a way. I mean, if you saw the beans on toast, not beans on toast, was cheese on toast with Ashton chat the other week. That
I
was
did.
one hell of a short. So
Yeah.
Mm.
we thought, we normally what happens is we get about half an hour into Norwich analysis, and then food happens.
Yeah.
So if you're down for some food chat, that'll probably happen later.
Well, I think at various times in the past we've discussed what fish and chip shop's the best in Cromer,
Oh, that's good.
and me and Morgan still disagree on that. I think that's probably one of the only things we disagree on, isn't it, Morgan?
Yeah. And yeah, like end of life. No, I'm joking. Let's cut back.
Fantastic stuff.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, Jez.
bye.
We'll get there.
Well, I don't know.
We'll get
Apologising
there.
to me. Should be apologising to these two gentlemen.
It's because I'm
You
so
have
used to
nothing to apologise for. It's absolutely fine. Anything you want to say that will make us laugh, we are totally down for it.
Yeah, I feel like you've asked us that question, and we're obviously like what we do is slightly different to what yourselves do, and so sometimes it can be quite serious. We can have guests on that are like, I don't know when this episode's going out, but we just had Amanda Sheehy from Amber's Army, the charity Amber's Army, on because they're playing a charity. They're sponsoring a charity match between Durham Town FC and Norwich City Old Boys this Sunday, the 31st in Durham. I'm gonna drop it, but some guests will have on, and it's a serious conversation, and it's about serious things. We did a men's mental health one recently with Say It Lad. They're a Norwich based charity, and other times it'll be it'll be a lark. It'll be fun with someone that Jez will know who supports, I don't know, hypothetically Swansea, and it'll be good fun. But I think it's been that, I don't know about yourselves, and I know you said about getting new guests on and different things like that, but it's been a sometimes it's like, Jesus Christ, like I'm having to like really like try to not cry on camera and hold it back, and other times it's just like we're just having fun. So I hope I hope we don't appear too middle aged for you.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. You can have some fun as well. And like we keep it lighthearted. We always try to. It's the
Yeah.
way we can be very depressed after a lot of Norwich games, and we're always like, right, let's listen to some old Norfolk man talk on Radio Norfolk on Canary Call. It'll be fun.
I love that. I love that segment. It's so good.
Don't worry, because that segment is on this podcast, and boy, do we have a surprise for you.
Is it Jez?
Oh,
I'm not spoiling anything. I can't spoil that. I can't reveal it.
Some middle-aged man ranting on, giving his like crap opinion. Yeah, that's Jez.
from Hertfordshire. Good.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Just want to quickly mention before we move on. You mentioned it a bit, but I just love the scope of your podcast. Like, noting guests such as Eurovision singers and Stuart Webber is such a vast margin, and it's so good to have that variety.
No, thank you. I mean, that's something that we do sort of shout about, really, because the Norwich spectrum is so wide and vast. There's people like Stephen Fry, for instance, as a fan that we'd love to get on at some point. And then at the other end, you've got someone like Hugh Jackman that's a Hollywood star, and So yeah, you're completely right. It's something we are trying to push.
But I
That
mean,
fan
like
message.
we had Chris Reeve on a few weeks ago, and you know, he'll admit it. It's like if you want to try to get, I get caliber doesn't sound, it's not fair, but I think when you're trying to reach out to these people, please by all means be under no illusion that it takes a lot of work. Like it takes a lot of persistence. Like Jez is bullish. Like I overthink everything, so I'm like, oh, I can't send that email. But Jez will just go like, let's do this, and you know it might work, it might not hear back, but then he'll keep doing it. Whereas I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to do that now because I'm too anxious about it. But it takes a lot of effort. I mean, as you know, generally doing a podcast, you've had your graphics updated, you've gone on to video now, like you know, you put in segments in your videos. It's not it doesn't happen overnight. It's not magic wand and it's done. It's effort. It's a lot of effort.
No, it took a complete redesign, all of that. So that was a few nights for me. I think it was, well, Robbie obviously edits. I do a lot of the graphical stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it took us quite a while to get that kind of format that we wanted.
Mm.
So we're really happy with it now. But it's yeah, and for myself and Robbie, I know we've had this conversation. Like getting more guests is probably our next big aim with our podcast.
Yeah.
And putting that work in to do that. Like we've got a few people on that we're obviously good friends with and stuff like that, but reaching out to those people that we don't speak to and to hear their stories is going to be good for us as well. So yeah, it's definitely an aim of ours in the future to try and diversify it a bit. But we're heading in that direction. That's the plan.
That's good.
Excellent.
It's good. It's good to hear. Like I said, it is work. It is work, and I think that you should always be kind of proud of what you've done and what you've achieved so far, because
Yeah.
it is effort, it's time, energy. You know, there are days like when Jez will be like, right, we've got this person to speak to, and I'm just like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, well, cool. Like I'll wear the smile. But no, seriously, like it is work, it is energy consuming, it does take time. But you know, you guys have got to a good place, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, I mean, for us, and I think I will say this just before we move on, that for me and Robbie, we were always not really sure how it was going to go. And that first podcast we released, the numbers that did, and like the support we had from a lot of people, really encouraged us to go, right, let's stick at this straight
Mm.
away.
Mm.
Because the support from Norwich fans was brilliant. Like we were not expecting the reception that got at all. We were like, yeah, we'll maybe get 10 views. Like,
Yeah,
so we
we
were
always
really
joke.
shocked.
Me and Jez always joke that we've got 5 viewers constantly, and and that's what I think in my head. I'm like, you know what? If those 5 people are happy, then
Yeah,
we've done what
exactly.
we needed to
It
do.
doesn't matter. The numbers don't really matter, but it is an encourager, isn't it? It's sometimes when you just it's more the comments and the support from people that we know as well, and new people coming on board. The Twitter interactions are what we really like as well, like people getting
Mm.
involved. So yeah, we and yourselves. That was one of the ones that we got. We obviously we didn't know you boys until we started off the podcast, so that's all come along. But yeah, we're really enjoying that interaction with other fans, and I think Ashton would say the same if he was here, and I think Robbie would agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Excellent. Really good.
Fantastic. Right, let's move on to the more depressing bit of this podcast now. Well, 3 bits of depression back to back to back, unfortunately.
Gradually increasing.
It gets gradually worse as we go along.
Okay, we're ready for it.
Where do we start? Where do we begin? Well, I suppose we better begin in chronological order with Middlesbrough.
Oh wow, we're going back. That felt like about 3 weeks ago, given what's happened the
Yeah,
last few
it's
days.
not. It was only like last weekend.
Yeah.
It feels like a long time ago, but it
It
wasn't.
does.
Mm.
It does.
There's been a lot happened in the last like week. It feels like about 4. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, who's going to start off?
What do we even make of that game? It's so difficult to sum that one up because I actually thought first half we were relatively okay. We weren't great, and we gave away a lot of chances and whatever. But we looked like we were probably going to coast it into a 0-0 and nothing really going too wrong. And then we just capitulated for no reason.
Yeah, I think that's how I saw it. I think up until about the 35th minute, which I think is when they scored the first goal,
Mhm.
they were slowly building up a bit of pressure, starting to isolate some of our players at the back, and then obviously the player that scores it, Finazaz, found himself with the freedom of Norwich at the back post. He was
Yeah,
almost had that much room. He was almost in the Wensum, and
yeah.
obviously slid it home. I mean, the first goal I thought should big lad should have saved that because it is near post, but I think it's taken a deflection, so he set himself to go, and then it's obviously gone above him. The second goal was just an utter car crash, wasn't it?
The second goal was
Um,
shocking when you watch it
yeah,
back. The marking is criminal.
it is. But I think before that, so Diallo had a shot because I was sitting in another seat where I usually sit.
Yeah,
Sat the other side of the Barclay essentially. So I saw that shot where Diallo sort of held it to the back post. I thought, that's going in. Never did, obviously. But then the second chance he had, he should have squared it. What he's done is he's tried shooting, taking it first time on the volley. I think it was Stacey that put the ball in. Why isn't he squaring that? He put it on a plate for Sargent, and we would have been 1-0 up. It might have been a different game. So that would be
Yeah.
my assumption. My sort of take home from that game is we went 2-0 down, and by that point it was done.
it was game
You're gonna
over at that
you're
point.
gonna hate what I'm gonna say because it doesn't like me and Jez. Obviously, me and Jez are middle-aged men, so every time we do a podcast, I always use that, don't I? But we come at
Speak
things
for yourself.
in a Jez, you're just about clutch. You're like David Brent. 30,
Yeah,
well, I'm 30-year old.
still in my 30s. So
Like this. But I think you have to think that, like, ultimately, uh, it's Rob Edwards who's a canny operator, who knows
Yeah,
the league. He's at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough didn't do too badly last year in the league, really. We've just had how many new signings and a new coach, and it was it's not like they beat us 4-1, is it? And I know that it's at home, but I think the problem is now there's so much expectation, that if things aren't going Norwich's way at home, then you know the crowd starts to react. And
yeah,
like we've had podcasts where we talk to ex players and they're like, yeah, we're not stupid. Like, we feel the atmosphere. So if you've got a bunch of new players that are nervous and then the crowd is on their backs, they're only going to make mistakes. I mean, like, I don't understand what happened to Wright. Like, rush of blood to the head. Where'd he go?
that was, yeah, for me that was just, I don't know if it's just like inexperience of his age or poor decision making or whatever it was, but yeah, really was a rush of blood. It was really quite strange. It's like a challenge you don't need to make at all.
I
Like,
think
I'll
there's no
tell you what it
reason
was.
to make that challenge.
but I think we have to understand as well that he talks very eloquently in the media, but he's still a young man and he's still ultimately getting
Yeah,
used to this squad.
and
Jez
Tell
has
you
we
what
got
it
his
was.
finger. Jez has got his finger. Watch out for that.
Yeah, if you don't mind me making a point, Chris, I'll tell you what it was the fact that he lost. He was the one. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was the one that lost the ball for the second goal, right? So he lost the ball in that instance and was so keen, so eager to get the ball back that he just rushed the blood to the head, as you said,
yeah,
straight through that player and right in front of the referee. I mean, I saw it. I mean, I was sat in the upper Barclay. I could see straight away what was going to happen. It
Yeah.
was ridiculous. So yeah, it's just
yeah,
yeah. Morgan says he's inexperienced. He'll learn. He's certainly got potential, that lad.
yeah, yeah. He's definitely shown plenty of glimpses in his Norwich career thus far to show that he will be a good player. I have no doubt about it. But yeah, inexperience. We've got to think that he hadn't really started a league game until he came to Norwich. So
Exactly.
he's had no experience in like men's football really, other than like a couple of cameo appearances for Man City. Um, he's still very fresh, so
Yeah.
it's going to happen. Young players do make those mistakes. That's the risk you take with running someone at a young age, and that's why you have those experienced bodies around them to kind of build them up, if you will. But yeah, he's going to make mistakes. I was a silly move, but he'll learn from it. We'll get over it, and it'll all come back good. I'm sure of it. But yeah, well, it was a bit of a disappointing game, to say the least. I just feel like at the moment, and I will come on to this with the other game as well. Norwich aren't doing anything overly wrong. It's not that we're having shocking performances where we're really, really bad. I just think we look so mediocre. There's like nothing inspiring about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
But then
not.
again, I think. Sorry, Chris, go on.
That's all right. No, you're fine. I don't feel like we're like massively disappointing or we're making tons and tons of individual errors, like which is what I would say was a trait of Thorpe last season. We had quite a lot of individual errors and mistakes.
Yeah.
Whereas I
Yeah,
don't think that's the case this time.
But again, like you talk about almost like you talk about a lack of creativity. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's probably right.
If
Probably
you
where I'm
think
getting.
if you think about who we have as our creative output, so Forson, Swatu, who at Macondes, Cernach, they're players that were all bought under Hoff. So it's a Hoff
Yes.
hangover with our creative level of creativity. So
Mm-hmm.
in effect, you've got a new manager coming in who has to fashion a level of creativity out of players that he's not out of players that he's inherited, not that he's chosen himself because they're there. Jurasek, like they're there, right?
Yeah.
And he's brought in Diallo, and that's it, isn't it? So I think that it's. I said this like it's going to be a slow start, and I thought about this today, and I was like, you know what? And this is not going to be popular. I'm so sorry because the podcast's going to suffer for this and ours. But like, but I genuinely think that we're looking at mid-table as a finish, and then hopefully something else next season. We've been spoilt by Farker and people, and we're still suffering under that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm on the evidence of the last few games. I'm not disagreeing with the mid-table shout at all. I don't think we get it together fast enough to mount a challenge for promotion and be on the pace like we need to be. I think it's going to take. I absolutely despise the word transition, but I'm going to use it. It's another transition. It's the same thing we had last season. It's new player,
But
new managers, too much turnover, and you're not. But it needed to be turned over.
yeah,
But the problem is when you rip it all up, it's not going to come back together again immediately, is it?
no, but you've got to also think that I saw some of the games after Christmas last year, and I was like, I was like this.
Yeah.
I was like 5-3 against Portsmouth at home.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I'm sorry, but that's not happening. And I
Yeah.
just like you could see that they just gave up. I know this has been done to death, but like I just think that we've got in a manager that's probably a little bit more pragmatic than what we saw. Yeah, we saw some sexy stuff at the first like start of last season, but let's not make any bones about it. Second half of last season, we were fucking awful.
We were. We were terrible. We
Yeah.
were really poor. Yeah, it's difficult because again, like fans will always gravitate towards that attractive forward style of football. It looks better on the eye. If you're a fan of football, you always want to see your team going forward, and like that's evidenced by if you ever sit in the Norwich ground and just listen to whenever a back pass is played. That's all you need to do. Just groans throughout the ground as people throw their Bovril and protest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like I'm not a big fan of going backwards, but I do understand the purpose it plays in a game. So it's one of those. And obviously, like you say, the coaches that we've got in now is probably not going to be as aggressive attackingly. It's more about the system and playing through the midfield and playing it forward. And I just think maybe we need to adjust to his style as much as he needs to adjust to how Norwich play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's fair
again,
enough.
like I said, you've got the Hoff hangover of three or four creative players that were brought in under a different manager.
And I'll be honest, the 4 players that you named, I think probably 2, if not 3 of them, I look at and go, I'm not confident in you being the creative man for this season.
Yep.
I,
Yep.
I
Exactly.
don't like drawing players out, but I said it to Robbie. I don't see what Schwartau offers. I'll be honest. I
I
have
don't think
not
I just
seen
think
him do anything that's really made me think he deserves a starting role in that squad. Mark Hondes has had moments, but it is moments. Cernats, I don't know what his best position is still.
centre forward.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if you're going to play him, he has to play up front, but he's not getting over
Yeah.
Sargent. So
No, but I'd bring him on in the last 20, 30 minutes.
yeah, exactly.
And
I think that's right. That would
I
be
think
what
so.
I would do. I totally agree. I think he's being played out of position a lot.
Mhm.
And Forson, obviously, Forson's the one that I think could kick on. I've seen enough glimpses to think he could be a really good player, but
Maybe
injured
glass. Yeah.
and again hasn't shown it enough yet. Still,
No, I agree.
so
I agree with you. I think with Schwarzer, I think I can see where you're coming from, but I think he's still young and he's playing in a foreign country.
again, yeah, still a very young player. But I just haven't like a lot of those young players when they've come on. You see little sparks.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've seen that from him really, and I don't want to be harsh, but that is how I
No,
feel
get it.
about that one.
Yeah. No, I get it, mate.
No, that's fair enough. But yeah, don't think there's a lot more you can really say on that performance because again, it was just pretty lackluster, and like we say, it was a 15-minute period at the end of the first half that basically ended that game. So yeah, it's one of those ones. We'll move on to the cup and Southampton.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, wasn't a great deal better. I think again in the first half there were glimpses. It looked relatively okay. We probably had the upper hand of it for a large majority of that half. And again, it's sloppy defending, pass given away, and sloppy goal. Great finish. Don't take it away from Cameron Archer, who scored a really good goal. But he shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
No, but you're right. It's sort of, we fell apart right at that end of that half again. I remember saying to my partner that watched the game, it was like, well, they're going to score another one in a minute because it was just so obvious it was going to happen. But for me, I said it to Rob and AD on Tuesday night, and it's like Southampton just been relegated. Their second string is a lot better than our second string, and that was evident. I think as well as that is Topic had a great chance. He hit the crossbar. Kiss Gordon, you would say his name. He had a shot which, I think he just got into that position, and I think had that been another 2 or 3 games on, he probably would have scored that.
He probably would have scored. Yeah, it looked like a position he should have been scoring from, really. But again, it's inexperience.
Exactly. Yeah, that sort of reminded me a little bit of Sainz and Buendia, the way they sort of run in behind.
Yes.
It was that sort of opportunity, wasn't it? And he sort of thought the net was going to bulge, but he'll get there. But yeah, I just think on the night they had the better team. This happens in football, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very true. And I just think we concede that goal just before half time. It deflates everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone's suddenly lost all momentum because we were playing quite well. Don't get me wrong, we weren't pulling up trees or anything, but we were doing enough to say, okay, there's something in this. And then we come out for the second half and they just looked deflated and flat, and that's when Southampton capitalised.
Yeah.
I think Liam Manning's, the way he sets up the team, is so crucial that we score first. Because I think when we do, invariably we can we can manage the game.
Yeah,
But
I think you're right there. I
because
think he's probably going to be a lot better at seeing out games. Obviously, we had
exactly,
last season was a real problem. See, that was probably our biggest problem was seeing out any games because
no, I completely agree. But
I
it
think we
just
had
relies on us.
I think we had the record for the most amount of points conceded from winning
That's right.
positions this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were really struggling on that front. I don't think that will be a thing this season, but I think
No, I don't.
we need to. We've almost gone too far the opposite way now, where we need to be a little bit more on the front foot and a little bit more proactive to start with,
particularly at
and
home.
then see it out.
Is
Yeah,
that a
particularly
problem
at home.
with? Is that a problem with the formation though? Because Jez has brought this up. I'll throw that
here
over
we
to
go.
Robbie. I'll throw that over to Robbie because he said bugger all for like nearly half an hour.
Sorry, Robbie.
That's okay. No, that's fine. I do want to
I'll hold
quickly
the bait.
mention. That's fine. I do want to quickly mention about just the difference between the squads, like NCFT numbers on Twitter. Probably a lot of you have heard of them. It was the first time in over 100 years where Norwich City's starting 11 didn't contain a single player to have scored more than one goal for the club. So it just shows the difference in level. But in terms of the whole Manning setup, I'm not convinced on it. Again, it is good defensively, but it's not good defensively when the players are making these mistakes, these individual mistakes that have been. I mean, can you put a goal that we've conceded down to the system this season? I don't know. I think it has been more than mistakes.
I
So,
think the first goal for Middlesbrough probably was because of how they disrupted us. But you're
mm,
right, there was a mistake leading up to that.
yeah, I think it's a system that's going to take a long while to learn. And again, with so many players in from so many different countries, it's going to take a while to gel. And I hope it does. And I hope that Manning is given the time because at the minute, the fan base is not in the best of moods. And it's only got worse recently. So,
And we're a very reactionary fan base at the best of times. So
Are we?
it, yeah, I think so. I think if you've ever looked on social media after any game ever, we're we're very very reactionary. But anyway, I do think at the moment it still is a bit of a case of, and I can't believe I'm saying this with the number of signings he's brought in, but I still think we're playing a bit square peg round hole in terms of we've got players who probably aren't actually suited to the positions that Manning wants to
The wing
play.
backs, yeah.
The wing backs aren't wing backs. They're not. They're not playing where they. You've got to have players who have got that athleticism. Like Stacey is probably the closest thing to a wing back, proper wing back we've got.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Kellen Fisher's not a wing back. He's a good fullback, but he's not a wing back.
No.
Diallo is a winger, so defensively he's going to be weaker. You've got Schlupp, who for the most part so far looks unfit. Despite, I think there's probably still quite a good technical player in there, but whether or not left wing back at 32 years old, when you're losing a yard of pace, is the right place to be playing.
I
I
have
think you'll
seen
be suited to a centre midfield role better.
that's what I've seen Palace fans saying. It's
Yeah, why are you playing him at left wing back? I saw that tweet this week as well. Someone basically said, "Why would you play him at left wing back? He's lost his pace.
Yeah,
He needs to be in central midfield."
yeah, 100%. It's definitely an option. And again, I think you bring him on with 10, 15 minutes to go, don't you? You don't start him like you did against Millwall and just completely
Yeah,
fish out of water.
I would say so. He's not Kyle Walker. He's not got that
No.
like infinite like battery power. But I think that me and Jez has obviously had conversations the last week and a bit, and we both said that like is it a case of playing a better formation at home and the formation that he plays at home away? Because look at Watford and Pompey, we won games.
It works
So
away from home.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
it's almost like everything is almost reversed. Like we couldn't see out games, now we can, but we don't score first anymore. And then we were good at home, but now we're good away. Everything's reversed itself. It's really quite bizarre.
yeah,
And
no, you're right.
yeah,
those days.
No, it's right.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not totally against the 5-back yet, but I am beginning to lose faith in it. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I've lost faith in it already, and I think that I'm sure he's probably thinking to himself, "This isn't working with who we've got." Don't think that he's an idiot, because he probably isn't. So,
But is he,
you know,
or is he going to be one of these managers who goes, "This is my system, I'm sticking to it"? Because there's a few of them about.
Russell Martin.
Yeah.
Did I just say that out loud?
Oh dear. Oh
I
dear,
think
we are in trouble.
Bring him home. Bring him home.
no.
As someone who was massively campaigning for Russell Martin before we got Liam Manning in, I'd like to retract my statements at this rate.
Good
Having
lad. Good
seen
lad.
what he's done at Rangers, I was wrong, and I'll happily admit that.
You were.
I was very, very wrong.
I don't know why I'm laughing, because he was good for Norwich at times, but
Yeah, exactly. He was a really good player for us, and I love him as a bloke. But yeah, I just again, he's a very stick in the mud, isn't he? He's not going to change his philosophy for anybody, and for some managers that works brilliantly. For other managers, that is their downfall.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
I think we move on to the slightly even more worse part of this podcast.
the fact that you went to Greg's for your first ever sausage roll in God knows how many years as a live human being.
It goes before. It was the first sausage roll on podcast.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Okay, so you've been before.
I have been before.
He's
I will
been
get.
building himself up to get the sausage roll tolerance back.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
a long road.
How much are they in Greg's these days?
£1.35. I learnt that from your podcast.
He's been doing his learning. We appreciate that.
Should have done my research.
But no,
I almost had to pull my Greg's app out then and check.
Brilliant.
Dina Nunes, chaps.
Who?
What's happening?
Yeah, who? What? Does he play for us anymore? I've not heard of him for a while.
And
Oh, it's just a disgrace, isn't it?
yeah, it is. But I think I'm going to get some belts for this. But I think right. So how many games has he completed a season? I think he completed 30 last year, but how many of those were where he was coming back from injury? I saw a stat where all the time he's been with Norwich, he has played 52% of the time he's been with us. So he's effectively only half of the time that he's had available. He's been able to play through injury, whatever else. It looks good in one game and then goes missing for 2 or 3 games afterwards. Phenomenal footballer, don't get me wrong, but he's never looked settled at Norwich.
Yeah.
In the last year of his contract with us, and apparently, I can only go on what I've heard out of the Beacon lads and the TNT lads, but didn't want to sign a contract last year, refused it this year, has forced the move himself, so that it's not the club. The club hasn't done that; he's forced that. We've got 7.5 million up front, or at least 7.5 million without the add-ons, plus the add-ons which take it to 10 million for a player that's in his last year of his contract, can't keep himself fit, is inconsistent in his form,
Doesn't want to be here.
doesn't want to be here. You look at all those factors and you think, yes, it's Ipswich, I get that, that's horrible, but have we not pulled their pants down a little bit? Have they paid over the odds for this player?
Yeah.
Because remember earlier in the window, he was being touted as a £3 to £4 million move elsewhere. And I bet if this was Sheffield United paying 10 million add-ons, it'd be like, oh, Napper's a genius. Oh, he's a genius. He is. He's really done one over them. But because it's Ipswich,
it's horrible.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't want it to be Ipswich. Don't get me wrong.
I don't want it.
But if they're the only team that have come in and gone, we'll give you 10 million with with add-ons for a player that can play basically 50% of a championship season, and in the last year of a contract, what are you going to do?
There's been a few things where people said, well, just let him rot in the reserves. would you want a player of that nature that clearly wants to move on? So his head's not going to be in the right place, his attitude's not going to be there, and you
Infantry.
want him to go with all of those youngsters? What a role model that would be. Get rid of him, and let's see what happens in that first game if he plays, because he might not even be fit.
Mm.
Topic is going to go through him. That's
Yeah, hopefully so.
so
My problem is not with Marcelino Nunez moving. It's not with the fee. It's not with anything else about that move other than where he's gone.
yeah,
If I'm
I'm with
honest,
you. I'm with
if
you
I'm honest,
completely.
you for me, and I totally get everyone's points about it's good money, and it's a player who evidently doesn't want to be here,
Yeah,
evidently doesn't really care about the club,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which shocked me in some ways because, to be honest, if I was going to predict a player to have done that, he wouldn't have even been in the top 10 that I would
No,
have thought about. But making it very clear his stance. But for me, ground rule zero of this club is you don't sell to Ipswich. End of
no,
story.
that's it, innit? And I think it's horrible, isn't it? That is the crux of it. But I just think as well as it's for me with if he was a player that 100 no players 100% in appearances the time there is obviously suspensions and injuries and stuff, but
Yeah.
say it was 70-80%. He'd assisted 20 goals last season, scored 15. He's not any of that. He's a one game out of 3 or 4. I just think it's funny because we've absolutely pulled their pants down. That's the thing for me is
It's
we've
the only
actually
positive.
got
We
one
have
over
got a
on
good
them.
fee
Yeah,
for him.
and we've got one
That
over
is a
on them.
positive. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
100%. I
also,
don't think
but
he's going to go
also,
there and set the world alight.
no,
no,
but also they're going to be paying him a lot of money, additional like wages, and
Yeah.
like I know it stings, but I think this sounds so weird. Sounds so weird, but we're in a brave new world at Norwich City where, like, beforehand we wouldn't have done that through sentimentality, but now we're not. We got rid of Hoff after what, 8 months, 9 months. Like, we're in a different world now, and I think that it's going to take some getting used to, where sentiment goes out the window. It's like I said to Jez, I was like, football club in business shocker, like. I'm again like me and Jez will probably receive shit for this, but Norwich City is a business. It's a
Yeah.
business, and that's a
You're going
but
to
business
hang on.
receive
decision.
shit. You're going to receive shit from me for that one because I
But also,
hate that.
every other club in the division, if what are our aspirations? Our aspirations to get back to the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Every club in the division is that. Every other club in our division is run like that. And we had to go out and get an American investor because everyone was pissed off and annoyed with Delia Smith. And so we can't have both parts of
You
the
can't
drink.
have your cake and eat it. You
Thank
can't.
you.
You
You
can't have
can't.
your
So you
cake and
That's
can't.
the
eat it.
same.
You can't have that local club. Celebrity chef Delia. She's going to put her arm around you and I'll come and bake a cake with me. You can't have that with Mark Atanasio. He's here to run the bit. He wants in return to his investment. He ain't going to go, well, I ain't going to send Nunes. He doesn't want to play for us anyway and is a crock to Ipswich because he's going to go, oh, they're offering me £10 million. That's a return to my investment. But I know that's horrible to say that,
Yeah.
but he doesn't. He's only been here, okay, probably 2 or 3 years now behind the scenes. But how many of those have we played Ipswich? Because obviously they were in the Premier League last year. So has he experienced that
Exactly.
derby
I
day
think this is
game
another big
which we all
issue.
have?
I don't think the sporting director and the ownership understand what a big deal that is.
Yeah, exactly.
They've just
Yeah.
seen the money and gone, oh, well, we probably shouldn't, but the fans won't care. We've got decent money for him. The fans are in absolute uproar about it.
Oh, of
Like,
course. Yeah.
it's. The amount of calls for Napper out I've seen off the basis of one transfer
We've
is
seen some awful. We've
mental.
seen some awful stuff that shouldn't
Yeah.
really be out there. And
Yeah.
like, to me, I'm like, it's out of order. And like, I don't care about whether it's a football club or whatever. You don't say stuff like that. Fact about anyone, because it's out of order. And because it's football, right? This is not. It isn't life or death. Not really. When you boil it down, Like, it's just some of the stuff we've seen is absolutely atrocious. But I do understand the frustration. I get it. I was disappointed as well, but at the same time, again, what I just said a second ago, we're entering a brave new world, and it's something we're going to have to get used to as a fan base as we sail into this new era. And
Yeah.
you can't want all of the big bucks and a billionaire owner and access to all that money, and then expect them to do exactly what the previous ownership did, but with more money, because that ain't gonna work like that. You'll probably edit all of this out, won't you? Because it makes you look bad.
No, we want contrasting opinions, no matter what they are. We're happy to be challenged on what we think.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
we'll no doubt me and Jez will receive abuse in the post, but it's just that's
Well, I hope not, because I agree with him. I think it made me very angry to think that a player that could do that. But I think I don't know whether I've sort of sat back straight away and gone, well, actually, on face value, it's not horrific, because
No,
I
I
think
think
the
if you'd
proof
have,
will be in the pudding, Chris. Because sorry
yeah,
to interrupt, I think the proof
you're
will
all
be in
right.
the pudding, because I think it won't be now that we see if it's a success. If we get to like March, April, and he has assisted whoever their striker is now, 15 assists and 10 goals or whatever, I'll probably change my tune. I'll be like, oh, hang on, that's not such a great deal.
No,
So we don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, we've
no.
only got the evidence for the last 3 seasons to be able to say he's a bit of an injury
I think
doubt.
if we'd have been having this discussion yesterday, I would have been a lot angrier and saying a lot more swear words. I've thought about it overnight, and I even tweeted out myself, basically saying, like, a player who doesn't want to be here is
yeah.
almost an omen that he's going, like, it's becoming very clear through the last few hours that he actually has no interest in being at this football club, and
No,
you can't have that toxicity there.
no,
I think you have to understand as well. It's something I raised earlier with a couple of mates of mine that if you if you include him within your starting 30, whatever it is, and he doesn't want to be here, he's blocking the route to either an under 21s player that we can develop, or he's blocking the development of a new signing.
Pel Matson. And actually, I think Matson and Topic would be a better balance, because then that probably does give the likes of Shunak and Schwartu and whoever else more license to get forward and
I
make
think
sure
it
that Sargent doesn't
probably
have
suits the five-back manning system better,
I think
exactly.
so.
if I'm honest. But I also then worry that those players who are advancing forward, like your Cernak and your Schwartels and that, are probably then going to be even more at risk of, okay, we've now got no creativity whatsoever. It's a big creative loss in
Yeah,
terms of
yeah, I mean,
what he actually gives you on the pitch. I know he doesn't want to be here, and you can't hang on to a player like that. I understand that, but
yeah,
I do feel that if if I was there, I'd be in the market for an attacking midfielder as well, personally.
yeah, I agree. I think they need to replace him,
Yeah,
but I also think, you know, was he that creative? Because Kenny McLean was more creative than he was second part of last season,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
when that really surprised me, because look, Kenny McLean's a lot of things, but he isn't ultra creative. But he set up Sargent's goal at the weekend, I guess, didn't he? But no, I'm with you. I'm with you, Chris. I think it's a scandal. But you've got
But
to
I
sometimes.
understand, and I understand from a business perspective why they've done it. I
Mm,
get it. I do understand, and also I understand from a player perspective why you would get rid of a player who is behaving in that manner. Because what can you do at that stage? There's not a lot you can really do with that player. They're not going to want to play for us again. He's not going to want to put the effort level in.
mm.
And I said at the start of a few podcasts back now, we were discussing players we might lose, and Nunes was discussed, and I said I literally don't care about losing him. And the reality is, it's not the loss of the player that I'm
It's very
actually
true.
that bothered about.
Yeah,
It's where he's
exactly.
gone.
And I think it was interesting because me and Morgan are regular contributors to the Pinkin. and they put a poll on earlier. Are you angry that he's gone? And I was quite surprised how split the results were. I think it was something like 46% when I last looked, but that weren't angry, and 50 something percent.
Yeah, which I would
Remind
have
me of
thought would
their
have been a
correct.
lot higher than that. In
Yeah,
terms
I
of
thought
who
it
was
was going to be
angry.
like 80-20. But
Yeah.
But yeah, but
it's
people aren't willing to like put their head. It's easy to be a sensationalist than it is to like say, you know, think about it in a logical sense that you know we've probably got more money out of them than we would have, you know, well letting him go on a free at the end of the
well, they
season or a
sold.
player that doesn't want to be here.
Who did they sell to
Um,
Forest? Was it Hutchinson?
yeah,
40
they sold
million was it they got for him?
Hutchinson. Yeah, yeah,
So straight away, that's Norwich have gone. Well, we know you've got the money because you've just sold that player to Forest for X amount of
Yeah.
money. So none of the other teams in the Championship that he could have gone to, I think, would have had that luxury. We wouldn't
nah,
have had
there's
that
no
luxury
way.
of going.
No.
Yeah,
There's no way. So I guess the only other person that I can think of that reminds me of the situation, and I know he didn't go to an arch rival, but it'd probably be Todd Cantwell, and like how everyone was like, "Oh my god, we won't have any creativity," and then we brought in Sarah. So I think, you know, we'll see what happens at the end of the day, and like it's not like who knows what will happen in the January transfer window. It's not like we don't have the money.
No, that's true.
and we're keeping Sargent, which I've said all summer.
Which, and like I say, if I had to sacrifice Sainz and Nunes to keep Sargent, I would do
Oh,
it in a heartbeat. There's no question on that. Sargent is by far the most important player in that team, and he is the
Without
one
doubt.
for me that is irreplaceable. The others
yeah,
are replaceable for me.
yeah, I
And
agree.
I love the way that he's built the team around him and given him the captain's armband, made him feel
Yeah.
special, made him feel like the leader that he can be.
Absolutely. Robbie, have you got the tweets with the Nunes reaction?
Of course I do. Already got it ready, mate.
He's well ahead. He knows what I was going to ask straight away.
But yeah, so we went on Twitter this morning and just asked for general fan reaction to the Nunes news, whether it's opinions, questions regarding it. So we have 4 comments here, and some of it covers what like we've talked about on here. So we'll start with Dom Spencer, who says, to use the poker analogy, I feel like Napa has gone all in with this. If we have a bad season and they have a good season, there's no coming back. However, if in some weird world we go up and they don't, then the payoff's massive. Which again, if he is a massive failure, we've pulled the pads down. We have really
Exactly.
again.
Yeah, exactly that.
I
Can
thought
I just sorry? Can I just say about Don Spencer? He tweeted on when we did Canary Call the other week, Tuesday, a couple of days ago. He tweeted because he said that I sounded like David Brent. Which I thought was hilarious.
And you,
Yeah,
but
I
you,
thought
that's
so.
your shtick. You do.
Yeah,
You used to
did
see
yeah.
the voice
Funny.
notes that he signs off with. He's always
Hello.
like, yeah, goodbye. See you later,
So, see you later.
alligator.
Sorry. See you later. Okay, sorry, Robbie. I interrupted you.
this time, and again, like I was saying, I expected 2 million for Nunes, so I think it's such good business. Although I have been clouded by the emotional side of it so far, but this doesn't help me see the lights off. So thanks, guys. We will
Cheers,
continue. We have Elliot next. I'm not going to read his hashtag on his bio, but I really hope this does not become a trend in modern football. There seems to be very little loyalty left in football, and then he says lovely stuff about Nunes, but we'll skip that part. But yeah, again, it's the new world, isn't it? It's American ownership, American ownership.
I think
Yeah.
a football player is always going to go. I mean, it's not. We've always been a selling club. Like to think that we can hold on to any of our quality players over time is naive. The best of times. Again, I think if he'd have gone to Sheffield United, everyone would be like, "Oh, Napa, you're a genius!" Like when Ida went to Celtic for 10 mil, it's like, "Oh, Napa's an absolute genius." But because it's Ipswich, it's not afforded that level. So, but yeah,
Yeah, exactly that. 2 more questions. Well, no statements actually. Arwin, of course, podcast quiz of the year winner.
Love that one.
I have swear words and lots of them.
Very, very simple.
And then
Yeah.
with Rio lastly, who just put "I am sad."
Was that
Fair.
was
Totally
Alwyn
fair statement.
was Alwyn did he name his profile Jacob Wright Enjoyer? Is it that lad?
Yeah, he did, but he is now branded after the
After the weekend when he got the red card, I think he removed it.
I did wonder whether that was the reason he removed
He's
it.
renamed his Twitter
Yeah.
page immediately.
Yeah. Fair play to him. Yeah, I like that.
It'll be back soon.
That's that from questions and the statements. So thanks, guys. We love having your input on that. So I think that's time now to move on to Canary Caller of the Week.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a special edition because we have chosen the most insane canonical, stupid takes. No, we haven't. We've chosen it
We've chosen
because
David Brent, haven't we?
If that's true, then excellent.
no, we just
It had to
figured
be done.
it had to be done because look at it. You've been on the pod twice now, and you need some recognition. So you are now, Jez. You are official Canary Guy, Canary Caller of the Week winner. So take it away and have a listen to what you had to say.
Why do we let the people of Norfolk speak? Now it's time for Canary Caller of the Week.
Jez from Hertfordshire is next. And I think Cootie knows you well. So, you texted Cootie and said, I want to ring in tonight. What do you want to say, Jez?
Get me on. I think my exact WhatsApp to him was, get me on.
Come on, then. The floor is yours.
First and foremost, welcome back into the country, Adrian.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
He's
a jet setter, isn't he, eh?
Yeah, I was surprised to let him back in, but that's probably one for another day. In all honesty, I just think it was two teams that had changed their entire setup. I think Norwich made 9 changes. Southampton probably made about the same. And Southampton second were better than Norwich second. And, a team that have just got relegated from the Premier League, you can kind of see why and how that is. I mean, you got a player like Brett Diaz sitting on the bench and he'd walk into our side. So I think there's a bit of that. I think there's also the fact that, Kisgarden, playing him as a central striker against 2 big 6-foot strapping lads, and he's isolated. So it's 2 things. It's the changes, that both sides have made in it, and Southampton were able to sort of navigate that a little bit better, and it's playing players not their strengths for me. So that would be my 2 assumptions from this evening, gentlemen.
About in the second half, Jez, what did you think of McCarmer? Really strong, big lad, puts himself about. I quite enjoyed that. But people bounce off him. That's quite encouraging, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, just sort of back to Kisco, I think he was okay first half, but I think as I say, I just think he was a bit isolated. But no, I think when McCarmer came on, it offered that a little bit more in terms of physicality. I think he's clearly going to be one for the future. I think unlucky with a shot sort of relatively early into the second half. I agree with you, Rob. I think he could be a really big asset for us moving forward.
Great stuff, Jez. Thanks for calling. Have you been to Disney?
No, unfortunately not. I used to sell tickets for the Paris one in a former life, but
you never went there either.
Never went there either.
So you've never been on Pirates of the Caribbean or any of these amazing rides, no?
No, unfortunately not. I think I'm missing out. So that'll be my next holiday next year.
What you'll have to do, go on YouTube. They do these POV rides, so you can have a look, and then get someone just to chuck a bit of water over you every so often, and you'll kind of get the vibe for it. So enjoy that. And Cootie will tell you all about it when you next see him. Jez, thanks very much, mate.
Why do we let the people of Norfolk speak? That was the Canary Caller of the Week.
And Jez, we had to have you. It is a role of honour. You'll forever be etched in Canary Guy history now. So congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
But the Disneyland, you never been to Disneyland?
No, I in a previous life used to sell tickets for it. I was a holiday rep in about 100 miles northeast of Paris.
Okay.
You've obviously had a Eurocamp, I assume. You boys must have had a Eurocamp. Robbie, you look like you've been on. Robbie's definitely been to Eurocamp.
I remember
anyway,
Euro Trash, Jez. I remember
it was a bit like that.
Eurotrash. What?
Yeah.
These guys won't remember Eurotrash.
Do you know what I
Sorry,
have seen?
No.
I know what
What?
it is.
It's because it used to be like when I was like 14. We used to stay up late on and watch it on Channel 4 because
Channel
it was
4,
late
yeah.
night.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, yeah, it was risque at its time. Anyway, sorry, Jez, you're
Yeah.
telling a good story.
No,
You
yeah,
just
it was
tangented.
one of the best jobs I've ever had, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, one of the roles there was to upsell the tickets for Disneyland because we were like half hour, 45 minutes away from Disneyland Paris. So it's not actually that fun a story really, but just thought I'd divulge that information.
Interesting. I heard that and immediately thought, get yourself down to either Pleasure Beach in Yarmouth or Pleasurewood Hills in Lowestoft because
I've been to both of them.
you have. What was on Pleasurewood
Yeah,
Hills?
Pleasure Hills must have been about 25 years ago. So we're
If
talking about
Kate's
14.
bits, fine.
I went to, do you know, actually recently I went to Bewilderwood last
Yeah.
couple, we're talking the last couple of weeks, and it's the first time I've ever been. And my boy's only 4, but he loved it. We had to get do you know the boat right at the
Yes.
start? We had to do that twice because he just loved it so much.
I went to Broader, but I feel like it must have been about like 10 years ago now.
I went there in year 6.
And I'm not even that old, so it's like,
Opened in 2007.
yeah.
This is a bit of a just a bit of a plug for them on your podcast.
Yeah. Lastly,
Shout out to Woodward.
Woodward. It's time to move on now. And Chris, I think you have found our tweet of the week this week.
I have. It's from a friend of the podcast and a regular Twitter contributor. Legend of Twitter, I must say. A man who I love very deeply, Sammy Dingle, with just a fantastic tweet with regards to the Nunes situation, where, as you'll see on screen now, he has he's very cleverly cropped Liam Gibbs' face over the top of Marcelino Nunes and just put on that we will never forget Liam Gibbs' goal at Ipswich. So brilliant stuff. I'm making light of a very painful situation. It's just what we need, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I actually put him in the back the other day in a fight between Jerry Barton and someone else. I said, well, there's only one man that can sort this out, and I'll tag Sammy.
It's got to be Sammy Dingle. He's Canary Guys Fan of the Year, reigning and defending champion currently. So
with good reason. He's
Yeah.
superb.
We love it. We absolutely love it. Normally, this is the bit where I do a sausage roll review, but I haven't eaten one this week. But Morgan does have Morgan or Jez. I think it's Morgan has a bone to pick with me about my sausage.
Yes, Morgan.
Please
Yeah,
feel
so
free.
I listened to your Portsmouth away episode, watched it, so whilst I was cooking.
I enjoyed the comment on that episode. That was a very good comment. We
that
enjoyed
was a
that.
great comment.
You saw that?
We all noticed that straight away. I'll be honest.
I was waiting to see if you had. So you know, my bone to pick with you is you've only just broached the Greg's sausage roll in all of your podcast recording time. What have you been doing?
No, this is slanderous. Okay, right. So I'm a sausage roll addict. If you couldn't tell, and I would eat them nearly daily as a kid. I would have it in my packed lunchbox. I would go after school to get one. I ate way too many, and I just had a period of like 3 years where I couldn't stand them. They were disgusting. I couldn't stand the taste of it. And then I got hungry one day about last year, and I had one again, and now I did it once again. So I thought it was worth it. It's £1.30. It's cheaper than the Caro stuff now, so why not?
So what about I mean, I think they're okay, but like, what about a Wall's sausage roll? I had a Wall's Scotch egg the other day. It was awful.
Yeah,
cold sausage rolls though, they're not on the same level, are they?
Ask
No.
Robbie. I don't know.
The walls have gone downhill. I did have a Ginster sausage roll. They're
Yeah.
good.
I do love. You know what? I love a Ginster's peppered steak bake.
Oh yes, good, very good.
The meat is like slime, but it tastes peppery. So
It tastes good. Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
What you've got to do is you've got to do what I often do now when I buy cold sausage rolls. If I have any spare, I bring them home and I stick them straight in the air fryer. That is the solution to everything.
Good shout.
Yeah,
And my
air fryer. Every baked good you've got, it becomes incredible. That's literally the answer.
Great shout.
for
Yeah,
me,
love that.
Chris bullied me into getting an air fryer. I now have an air fryer. It is the best decision I've made.
Yeah, it's literally like my girlfriend got me onto that. I was like still insistent on cooking in the oven. I like don't understand this air fryer shit. My girlfriend goes, just put it all in the air fryer. I did it once. I'm like, right, I'm using this forever now.
Yeah. Quality stuff.
Easier,
Oh,
quicker, everything tastes great.
The thing I
I've
don't
never.
get about air fryers though is where people then start doing like lasagnas and stuff like that. And I'm like, come on, just do a lasagna normally. Like you don't need to
Yeah,
do lasagna.
I've not quite reached that level yet.
Yeah, because
No.
the thing is, Chris, you're a foodie, right? Like
I do quite like food.
yeah, you talked about it on the. You were like, why don't we do a food podcast? So
Yeah.
my rant, my here you go. I'm gonna take over. Here's something for you. I'm gonna take over your podcast with an element of my podcast.
Go for it.
Guys.
Random question of the week.
Hey,
Yeah, you
fellas,
didn't
we
expect
like
that, did
this.
ya?
We
Didn't
like
expect
this.
that, did ya?
No, but
If
we
you
like it.
if you were having to cook for your girlfriend or a loved one,
Yep.
what meal would you cook and why? Robbie, and you'll get the same question, so heads up thinking about it.
For my girlfriend, or because the answer's different depending on what loved one it is. But if it's my girlfriend, I'm probably doing a steak.
Okay, but steak dry, steak with sauce.
Oh no, peppercorn sauce. Just like steak and chips, but peppercorn sauce. I like fillet steak, medium rare. It's got to
Bought
be medium
from
rare. It's the rules.
bought from where?
Um, Tesco, because my girlfriend works for Tesco and she's got a discounted club card.
Way.
Romantic, ever the romantic.
It's got to be done. She works there and she likes everything that's in it. So for her, that's perfect. So she's not big on
Robbie,
like expensive stuff, really.
Robbie.
Well, I'm all for that cooking, but I remember in year 10 in high school, food tech, I made a pepperoni pizza homemade and it was banging. So yeah, pepperoni pizza, but from scratch, man. None of the store bought
Yeah.
shit.
Wow,
Good for that.
that's tough.
And
You
My
make
specialty is pasta.
but
Actually,
what's so it all comes out now. What are we talking? Homemade pasta or the ragu or
well,
what?
like I don't home make the pasta, but the sauce I make from scratch every time. I always do
Right.
a sauce from scratch.
Yeah,
It's so much better.
I've got a date night. I've got a date night meal. Carrot sausage mince that you squeeze out from the sausages, red wine, fennel seeds. You smash
Yes.
up some chili, and some tomato canned tomatoes. You make that ragu. You cook that for. My mouth is just watering thinking about it because I can't
I'm
talk properly
hungry
now.
now.
Jez is sat there like a numpty. Jez, what are
Well,
you
I
cooking
think
me, mate? What are you cooking me?
Your
Fiona
romantic evening.
would probably say that she quite enjoys the fish pie that I make, sorry. So yeah, fish pie or I'm with Chris steak, I think. Yeah. So out of those two for a romantic meal for two.
I've seen your fish pie. It's actually it looks really good. Not gonna lie.
She just laughed in the background there.
That
So.
sounds like a euphemism. I'm not going to lie.
No comment.
I've seen your fish pie.
God, yeah.
No comment.
This is the kind of shit that we do every week.
we love it. The best segment we've ever had in this podcast, so appreciate that.
Fantastic.
That's what we call collab.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. We're going to start. We've got to now think, Robbie, of like segments we can randomly interject when they're doing their podcast.
Yes. It'll be a fun one.
Just throw things at them.
We're quite good at thinking on our feet, aren't we, Jez?
That's fair.
Most of the time. Most of the time. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
No worries.
Brilliant stuff. We'll quickly squeeze this in because although Ashton isn't here, I did record a little chat with him earlier this morning just to get his thoughts on the last few games, the Nuno situation, and his thoughts on the next game. So while this is playing, don't forget to think about your score predictions for Blackburn away.
Also, before you play it,
Go on.
don't forget that the 30 seconds of Rory McConville is not forgotten. It is in there.
And it is a good one. Take it away, Ashton.
Hello all. I am here, doing better than Nunes. I showed up for the yellows, unlike someone else. So fuck
Hooray!
you, Nunes. How are we doing all? I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to be in the podcast at all, so I'm happy to make my little cameo today.
Yeah, I think after the news, you sort of had to be because it's
It's a
like
disgrace.
it is a disgrace. But we're gonna leave that for a little bit. We won't talk about
Yeah.
that. And so, firstly, I just want your quick reactions to Borough and Saints losses because we have played 2 games and we have lost them both.
We have lost them both. Middlesbrough was a case of we made mistakes that cost us goals. Jacob Wright got a red card. Another Marcondes stinker.
Well, that was mine, to be fair. Yeah.
Marcondes stinker. When's it going to end with Marcondes starting, eh? Southampton, Chris Garden made him. I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't watched the games. I was out, work, whatever. So I've watched
Yeah.
highlights and bits and pieces. So you're not getting top tier analytics from me. I'll just tell you what I've seen and what can we change. Chris Garden gave away the ball there. I've had it. I can't remember who did it the other time, but I've noticed whenever we're going back in Mannon's system, we're not looking. We're just going straight back.
Mm.
And it's cost us a goal there. Don't get me wrong. Great finish from Cameron Archer. You can't really complain. He's put it right there. Grimshaw had no chance. The second one, Crescene thought he could jump to Mars, but apparently not.
Oh, I love it.
And that third goal, that's just a rocket. That could be up there for goal of the tournament. So there's not really a lot you could have done for that. That was a great strike from the Asian fella. I don't know if he's Japanese or not. Asian fella.
My issue with that though is that it's so easy to stop them kind of shots. I know it's the
Yeah. I remember watching it. I'm thinking Whiteley and Gibbs closing down there. Like,
Sam, just close
and
it down.
I do get it. Like we need to close down. And it's also the argument of you're then you're drawing a player out. Fine, I do get both sides of the argument here. So personally, what I would do in that situation is one of them tens that we have,
Mm.
just let them go shift. Like, what's the word you call them? Like they just shift from left to right and just follow the ball.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean your two midfielders miss out. That person, either Marcondes if he's playing, unfortunately, Chris Garden.
Now, okay.
But yeah, I think it's a case of we're making stopping mistakes, which is understandable in a new system. These players not played together a lot. We made 9 changes for that Southampton game. 9 changes.
Yeah.
With a certain Roy McGonville, we didn't have a bad game at all.
Okay. We will get onto that, I'm sure. But it's time to talk about something a bit more light-hearted now, and that is the fact that Nunes is gone, and he's gone to Ipswich.
Oh, what a fucking rat.
Mentioned that you were living the best life because you were blissfully unaware of everything that was happening.
Well, I'm not being funny. Yeah, I was at work last night when the news broke out, and I went for a break at about 7:30ish, 7:30, and I saw things about Buendia, which probably aren't true, but you see loan interest in the Championship, you think Norwich got to be one of the first names there. And I'm there, happy as ever, massive smile at work, getting on with my life. I get in the car with my mum, and I go, Buendia might come back, you know? And then I get back here, I'm eating some lovely burritos, you know? And then I get message after message from Robbie and Chris. Ashton, join the chat right now, join the chat. Join the chat. It took me 10 minutes to go through Twitter and find out.
Suffering, we were in pain.
Yeah,
Needed our brownie.
but what I've heard about how Nunes is diabolical as a football player, the fact he was going to see his contract out and then go to him on a free, we're lucky we got 7 million, 7.5, near enough 10 million with add-ons in the first place. The replacements look shaky. I'm not convinced on Pele Matson.
Yeah. Again,
Because,
important not to write him off purely
yeah,
because with
but
Sin,
he's not a creative player. He's
yeah,
not a creative. He's a bit like Topic in that sense.
the difference between him and Nunes immediately. Someone is desperate to come to Norwich and someone is desperate to get out of it. I know they're not the same player at all, but it's just nice to have somebody want us because at the
But
minute,
what's today? Is today like the 27th
It
of
is 8th of August.
28th. We've got 3 days left of the window, yeah?
Yeah.
If Nunes goes, we need like a creative box-to-box midfielder. I
Uh-huh.
still think we're a winger or 10 behind now with Forson injured.
I'm guessing you haven't seen the latest Pinken tweet that Matson is the last incoming.
Well, what's that? Because
Yeah.
Stacey's going to be out for a period of time after the Middlesbrough game.
Mm.
Because not only physically he's got to get there, mentally he'll be a bit knocked down from that. I think people forget that with head injuries. You got to realise the guy was carried off in an auction mark, for God's sake. Like, that isn't a day-to-day thing. That's going to impact you mentally.
I think just about he like, lost some memory.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Stacey till December time, personally.
Mm.
And then it just leaves you Fisher. Don't be wrong. Slut might play on the right one time, or we might. But to me, we're a right wing back away.
Mm.
Maybe not a number 10 because you've got the likes of he who shall not be named Marcondes,
Mm.
Stiernach, Schwartau, but he did look a bit poor. Chris Garden, Jurasek actually had some bright spells, I thought, against Southampton.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So maybe not maybe a winger, but we're definitely a creative box to box, whatever you want to call it, centre mid away, and definitely a right wing back away. Now, even if it's just a lone right wing back.
And just seeing that we might not even go in for anyone, even alone, we have all our spots open. Our best signing is categorically a championship player with championship experience.
Yeah,
And
Harry Darlan. Yeah.
And we're not going back into that market. We're not going back into the domestic market. It is worrying.
Yeah, and even if it was go down to League One, McCarmer looked bright, I thought, against Southampton from what I've seen.
Yeah.
He spoke really well in his interview after his first interview with the club since signing. So even if you dip into that League One market, it's not horrific in terms of squad depth and backup.
It's signing these unknowns is what's going to kill us. I think I had so much optimism going into this season, and it has. We're 3 games in. It's 28th of August, and I have none. I'm
I
finding it
don't know
very.
if I'd say I've got no confidence at all because I still believe when the squad gels
Yeah,
in a month or 2 time, we will look good.
we must mention
Obviously,
the good news is that Sargent is reportedly staying, which thank God, thank the Lord. If we didn't have him, I don't know where to be.
I genuinely want Topic to break Nunes' legs. Like,
I think that's a good place to end the Nunes chat because
yeah.
it is painful.
And that, have you saw, you overlaid the tweet here, I'll send you it, about the member of the club coming out and saying things about Nunes, about how there was never a desire of him to learn English.
From Chris Reeve, that was
Was that, yeah. Never a desire to learn English.
never.
Never got on with players, like, weren't really friendly with players, which.
Yeah.
Uh,
Chris Reeve did come back and say that that line was inaccurate.
oh, that's fine then.
All the rest of
But I think we mentioned this in the pod before when Anel left that could affect Nunes. Evidently has, just not to the level of going to blue ship down the road. But yeah, the desire not to learn English, the fact he wanted to move for a while now, the fact he was going to see out the contract and join Scum on a free, sort of sets up the type of person Nunes is. And personally, if that's how he is, I don't want him in my football club. Yeah, he's a good player on his day. Scored a great couple of goals, especially free kicks against Scum.
Yeah.
But if that's how he's going to be, I don't want the toxicity
Honestly, I get you.
around my football club. No, it's
But
not.
we're going to move on to happier things because Roy McConville played a football match. He started a football match. So Ashton Brown, it is your 1 minute of Roy McConville love. Please take it away.
Didn't do nothing wrong. Don't be wrong. First goal came from an individual error from Chris Garden. Last time I checked, McConville's not Chris Garden. Second goal came from Crescene thinking he can jump to Mars. McConville ain't Crescene. You think he can jump to Mars. And the third goal was a wonder strike. So yeah, he didn't really. I'm not saying he got man of the match. Far from it. Did the basics. Like I said, didn't watch the full game, so I can't give you a full thing. I'm just happy he started and he weren't astronomically shite.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. And it's nice to have a bit of positivity. And speaking of which, we have a match against Blackburn away. And I'm not positive, so I want your quick fire score prediction.
Do you want score prediction and a lineup or just score prediction?
Just score prediction. There's the
Let's-
lineup now. It's half a squad might have gone to Colchester or Mark's
No,
Day.
no, no. Trust me, I'll get the
Oh,
lineup. I'll get the lineup 11 out of 11 this week.
go on then.
Vladan, Fisher, Medic, Darlin, Crescene,
I would have liked Kosei to start. I think he's deserved it.
Aptiano. Have I said Fisher? Yeah, Fisher.
No.
So Vladan, Fisher, Medic, Darlin, Crescene, Papdiano, Topic, Liam Gibbs or Ben Solomano. Shit v shit. Go Liam Gibbs. You actually went too bad against Southampton, in all fairness.
If he's fit enough.
My 2-10s, Chris Garden, Eurosec. I want to keep that the same. Sargent's
Yeah.
number 9. And I think we win 2-1. You have to say 2-1 with Norwich in the league.
I think we win. When I love the optimism because I think we lose 3-0 to Cantwell a hat trick. Ashton, it's been great talking to you, mate.
Yeah.
Back in the
Listen,
pod
lads.
and
Fuck off, Nunes.
yeah, fair
I
enough.
don't care about Napa. He don't care about me. All he cares about is the fucking money.
We love you, Brownie. See you in a bit.
See you, lads.
Ashton, mate, we love you. Forever the optimist, forever the Royal Ball lover. And it's now time to go on to our score predictions for Blackburn. I'm thinking they're not going to be very positive. That's it. At least they're not for me.
Oh, I don't know what to say. It's hard this because I almost feel like there is a bounce back coming, but maybe not like a. I'll tell you what. I'll stick my neck out on the line. I'll go first. I am gonna say scrappy 1-0 Josh Sargent win.
Ooh.
That'll be good.
I'll go 2-1. A 2-1 win. I think you got to be confident. I think there'll be a reaction from the news this week. Either way, but I think it'll be a positive reaction.
Yeah, I think
2-1.
I'm with Jez. I think there'll be a couple of players that have got a point to prove as well, especially against
And the
Todd, especially against Todd Cantwell, who's obviously been on fire recently for Blackburn as a captain, and he's doing well. And I never want to talk ill of a player, but I think there'll be a reaction for sure from the squad. So I'm thinking 2-1 as well, Jez.
In a little bit with Brownie, I said 3-0 Todd Cantwell hat trick, but I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to say 2-0 win. Diallo to score both.
Okay,
Fair shout.
It's a shout, but I think a goal's coming, and with that, I think we're done, lads. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you so much for
No
coming
worries.
on.
It's been a pleasure.
That's been
an
great.
absolute pleasure. You're
Yeah.
welcome on ours
We'll,
any time. So.
We'll obviously get on yours at some point as well. We'll make that happen, and we'll tell you all about our Norwich lives and where we've been and what crimes we've committed.
Yeah, can't wait.
We're gonna drag you
under the spotlight.
We're gonna drag you by hook or by crook, and I'll think of some tough questions.
I like it. I love being like given properly thinky questions, so it's good. I want to think a bit. So yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Yeah.
that.
Good
Appreciate
stuff.
that. Thanks for watching. It's been a great bumper podcast, and we will be back hopefully under better circumstances after a win against Blackburn.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Bye bye.